Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Peony podcast. I'm joined with the wonderful Bianca, and today we are going to be talking about nudes. How exciting! So, if you are opposed to the concept of nudes, or if you don't like, or if you're triggered by any conversations of sex or nudes or sexual activities, all those kind of things, we're just forewarning you that's what today's episode is going to be about. And we're just basically talking about the safety of nudes, how to do them safely, where you can be careful, because there's a lot of responsibility when you're taking nudes. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
At the end of the day, everyone keeps saying don't send nudes, but we know your nasties are gonna do it.
Exactly. So we're just here to show you how to. Not actually show you how to, but how to protect yourself is what I'm saying. Alrighty, so let's actually just get into it and chat about the dangers of nudes. So firstly, I know of so many stories, and we were chatting about it actually before we started recording, but I know of so many stories of people where their nudes have been leaked. Either through being in a relationship with someone and then the relationship ending horribly, and then this person using the nudes as blackmail, or their phone being stolen, or a hacker hacking into their phone and being able to get their nudes. Like it's a lot easier nowadays to get your nudes. And like the scary thing is you don't even have to send your nude in order to have it leaked. Like you could take it, and let's say you have Google Photos on your phone, you could take it and it saves to your Google Photos. Someone hacks into your Google account, there we go, your nudes are leaked.
Yeah, I know someone who actually took so on Snapchat you can get that gallery, like a private gallery on Snapchat. So they took a nude of themselves, and they had it on the Snapchat private gallery, and someone stole their logged into their phone, had to log into their Snapchat and got the nude. Like obviously they didn't do it to get the nudes. We don't know why they did it, and then pretty much try to blackmail them for money. Yeah.
That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I know of stories of like girls who have like slept with guys and have shared nudes, and then these guys have taken those nudes and then showed their friends, just casually show their friends, oh, look at this, look at, this specific body parts. And we even see some girls do it as well, where like they get nudes from guys and then they'll show their female friends and like compare sizes of like men and that kind of stuff. And firstly, you have to understand that it's like an unknown rule. Okay, when someone is sending you a nude, you keep it to yourself. Out of respect, you keep it to yourself. You don't show anyone. You also really probably shouldn't be talking about it to people. Like, I just think the moment people know that nudes are being exchanged, it leaves opportunity for other people to take advantage of that. But before even that, let's just chat about the fact of consent. Before you send a nude, you need to make sure that you get consent from a person, because they might not want your nude. So unsolicited dick pics are not accepted. That's not okay. And not just dick pics, boob pics, vagina pics. No, get their consent first.
And also,
and
it applies too. I mean, if you ask somebody to send you nudes and they say no, it means no. Just leave them alone. They don't want to send you a photo.
Exactly.
That also goes for any kind of pics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like it's consent, like if they say no, you respect that, and that's just basically how it should go. And if you're in this kind of dynamic, or we have these like new kind of relationships popping up where people like are vibing. I don't know what the new term is now, but I know like when I was in high school they would call it vibing. Yeah. I sound so old now, but like where like they're in a relationship, but like it's not official. I don't know. There's like a weird stage that like people do now, like this weird dating thing. I'm in a committed relationship, so I wouldn't know. Joking. But yeah, like even when you're in like that weird phase and you're just like friends with benefits, you need to have that conversation beforehand about nudes. You need to sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to send you nudes. I'm making sure that you're not going to like spread them. Like I think people just assume like you can just send a nude. No, it's quite a serious like topic. Like you really need to sit down and ensure that both of you guys are on the same page before sending nudes.
Yeah, if you're not gonna post that picture on a social media of yours, then don't just assume the person's not gonna do the same. Does that make sense? Like they're not gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
And like what people don't often think about, and I know this is gonna sound strange, but a lot of the time when you're in like a very new relationship and you're around a group of people, people want to know what you're talking about. Does that make sense? Especially if they're good friends.
Yeah,
Your person that you're sending the nude to is with a group of people, probably don't send the nude then. Does that make sense?
exactly.
Opening yourself up
Yeah.
to a potential of it being shared a lot easier than if they were by themselves.
I agree. And speaking on that topic, often I think people like they'll get sent nudes or they'll take nudes and they'll just leave it on their camera roll. That's not okay because be realistic. People go through your phone. You know, if you're a parent, your child could go through your phone. If you have cousins, sisters, they could go through your phone. You know, if you're a tutor, I don't know why, but like let's say they have to go through your phone. Like, you know, you have to be very cautious. And
so I the varsity students and high school students, but this happened with varsity students. So they were showing me a picture of something they took in class, and above the
I don't know.
they know the story, and I told them what I saw, but above the picture that they were showing me was just a whole bunch of nudes. So
Yeah, so like take those photos and put them in a secure folder. On Samsung, on iPhone, there are like folders where you can like hide the folder. Like do that because protect yourself and protect others around you. Like
even so the person that I saw the nudes of, it wasn't the person I was tutoring. So that just shows you I saw some nudes that I knew the person, but like so like be careful who you're sending them to, and like not only do you have to put your pictures on private, but like make sure that
their photos as well.
it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only respectful. It's only respectful. And the reason why you should also keep your photos in a secure folder is because I actually have this story that I heard, and it's someone I don't know directly, but it's like a friend of a friend. Anyway, and so I think they were on like a group chat for varsity, and I'm not going to say which like subject, but anyway. And so this person was going to send a nude to the person she was having a thing with. Yeah, what you think is going to happen? She accidentally sent it. She sent it to the group chat with all the students and the lecturers and stuff. And WhatsApp didn't have that delete option yet. And so she dropped out because it had gotten so bad. She was bullied. She was laughed at. These guys were taking those photos and they were sending it, like the photo in the group, they were sending it everywhere. It was just terrible. And so to protect yourself, keep it in a secure folder and ensure that, like, make sure when you send a photo, like, take time to send that photo. Don't just, like, rush it. Take the time because those accidents can be detrimental. She's currently not studying anymore. It caused a whole bunch of mental disorders because of how she was bullied, she was threatened, her life was threatened, people were threatening to kill her. It was really, really bad. So people are crazy and you need to protect yourself because people think sending nudes is terrible, which it isn't. You're more than welcome to, but protect yourself and your partner or the many people you're with.
If you send in nudes like to get off, right? So like you and your partner are like talking, the person you're talking to, you guys are just trying to get off. It's a good idea to just delete them afterwards. Like delete them off your camera roll, delete them off your WhatsApp from your WhatsApp media.
Exactly.
They're on your WhatsApp media and your camera roll. Delete them off both. Like don't think just because you deleted them from your photos that they're gone. They're not. They're everywhere. But
exactly
of who you send them.
I would actually suggest to try avoid nudes completely and rather video call.
Even then,
because
like I've heard of stories where
really
filmed with something else or they
oh no
Yeah, or they've like
Yeah,
sort of taken photos. Like, just be vigilant when you take the nudes. Like, we're not saying don't take nudes, because if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But take them with caution. Take them with understanding of what's going to get you into trouble. So, for example,
exactly.
keep your head out of the photo. Like, I'm trusting you now. If someone's looking at your nudes, they're not looking at your face. Take your face off the photo. You don't need it there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Any birthmarks,
yeah,
tattoos, scars, take them out.
take them out. There's no reason, like, they're not looking at that. So you don't need to put your face in there. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going to send nudes, send them that they could be literally anybody.
Anyone's, exactly. Try crop out what you can. If there's a specific tattoo that like is next to like your genitals that you can't really get rid of, you can literally cover it. Like WhatsApp has that option where you can take the cocaine, you can cover it. Anyone can have a tattoo there. If that's covered, it's fine. Like try zoom in, rather crop things, like just protect yourself. The less identifiable you are, the better. And the thing is, this is even like if someone, it's even with someone that you're in a like romantic relationship with. I would even say people who have been together for years, I would still say be very cautious, because your romantic partner might not send the news, but a hacker might hack into your stuff and send it.
Super, super extreme. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people think hacker, oh, well, my phone's not going to be hacked. But like, that person I was talking about, their phone got stolen and unlocked. Like, stolen and unlocked. I mean, how many people's phones do you know that get stolen?
And unlocked, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so many.
Yeah.
I mean, also like if you even like WhatsApp, like people assume that if you delete something, it's gone. But like we said in the previous podcast, which I don't know if we'll actually put that in this one, but like we said, and I think you actually said,
Yeah.
that WhatsApp has to keep an archive of every message and image. Yeah, all social medias. And so once you put something out there, like I know a lot of older generations are like, be careful, once it's out there, it's out there. It's true though, like it's not an old wives' tale. Once it's out there, it's out there. And so like just be very considerate. We're not trying to scare you. And we're not trying to like dissuade you,
Yeah.
but you need to know the consequences attached to nudes.
Oh, well, yeah. Either like, if you want to send nudes, that's chilled. Like, that's on you. That's your thing. But just make sure you're doing it safely. Just make sure that you
Exactly.
are like, and although it is in archives, like, it is unlikely that the archives will be like looked at, but you still don't want someone to hack into, I don't know, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever it is. I've like named all the ones that all like the really old people use, or like WhatsApp, or you know what I mean, whatever it is, like
Yeah.
to hack into that, and it's all over the internet, and now you can't,
Yeah.
like, just send them safely, and at the end of the day, if you want to still send them, like that.
Exactly. Just be safe.
If you're under 18,
But let's also,
recommend that
yeah.
you don't. Look, I mean, yeah, if you're under 18, I would just recommend.
Let's actually quickly chat about the logistics and like your legal rights about this.
Yeah.
So the first thing is that if someone takes your photos, and that's why I say before you send nudes, you need to always ensure that you have a conversation with them and you've both agreed that you keep it between yourself. Because if they have to share your photos, that's illegal. You can sue them. And so in court, if you say yes, we had this conversation, and if you can try have some like proof, so either like a WhatsApp conversation or something, or even if you try to record the conversation, I'm not sure. But either way, if you've had that conversation, you can go to court and say that you had a verbal agreement that those nudes stay between you. Even if you don't have a verbal agreement, that's still unsolicited photos that they're sharing, and that's illegal. It's distribution of illegal porn, and so you can be sued. That person who shares your stuff can be sued heavily for that. So you need to know your rights. That's the first thing.
Yeah, like, it's out of some sort of revenge. You can also sue them for.
Sue them for
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, like, there are ways, like, if something bad were to happen, you can take legal action, but you don't want to have to do that. And also, like,
Exactly.
remember, when you take legal action, they put your nudes up in a courtroom. The judge also sees your nudes. Your lawyer sees your nudes. Their lawyer sees the nudes. Like, if you're not willing to go through that process, then don't don't send nudes that are identifiable. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Make sure that they're not identifiable. Another thing is, as Bianca said before I actually interrupted you, I'm sorry, is that it's illegal to send nudes under 18. I don't know who's under 18 who's watching this, but if you're sending nudes under 18, Bianca, you take this because you know a lot more about this topic, but it's extremely illegal and you can
Yeah.
be
So
prosecuted for it.
basically, if you sending nudes under 18 or receiving nudes under 18, it's illegal. So if you sending, like I'm currently 22, so if I send nudes to somebody under 18, it's illegal for me to send them nudes, right? Then it's not illegal for them to receive the nudes because I'm over 18. Does that make sense? Right? If
Yeah.
ever the 18-year-old was to send me nudes because I'm over age, that's obviously also an issue. But the issue is actually that they're underage, which means when you send as an underage person nudes to another underage person, it's still illegal for you to send those nudes because you're underage and the photos that are taken is actually classified as child pornography. Even if your birthday is in 3 days' time and you turn 18 in 3 days' time, it's child pornography. It doesn't matter like who is really what the nudes are. I mean, it doesn't matter who's receiving those nudes or who's sending those nudes. It's child pornography. So for sending nudes of somebody who's under 18, even if it's yourself, it's classified as a major sex offense.
And yeah, you can have a criminal record, you can be classified as a sex offender, taking nudes of yourself. Like it's quite a serious offense.
You get like you get like a huge rap. So you can get like creation of child pornography, distribution of child pornography, possession of child pornography. Um, there are others I think you can get, but I don't know all of them. I know if you receive them, you also get possession of child pornography. And if that person sends your nudes, or it even gets leaked on like from their phone, like one of their mates go on their phone and takes a photo of the nudes, they also all get distribution, possession, all of that. So
I
it's
have a question.
not worth it.
I have a question because you know quite a lot about this.
Yeah.
If a person, so if someone who's like, so obviously, like, let's say there's like a 14-year-old who sends like a 27-year-old a nude, like, obviously, we can see there's something wrong with that picture because the age difference, obviously, that's a form of pedophilia. But if the child is sending this adult pornography, how can the adult be prosecuted?
Well, the adult would get possession of child pornography. The adult would probably get like some sort of other sexual offense to do with child grooming because as a 14-year-old, uh, it's not in your nature to just randomly send a nude. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
classified as like somebody trying to almost groom you or that sort of thing to try and get you to send a nude, like they're influencing you in that way. So they would definitely be classified as a sex offender, and also the whole it wouldn't be classified as statutory rape in like necessarily depending on how far that relationship went, but there could be consequences within that realm because that
Okay.
the legal age is massively different. It's not even close to. Yeah. And also like
Something.
yeah, this is like just a disclaimer, but if you are over 18 and you are sleeping with like a 16-year-old, it's illegal. Do you know what I mean? Like even under like
Yeah, it is.
you are 18, like you are 18 and you're sleeping with a 16-year-old, it's illegal. If because there can only be a 2-year difference. The same as if like you are 16 and sleeping with a 14-year-old, it's illegal. It's classified
It
as
is, yeah.
so like I just would
That's something to be aware of. Yeah.
even with sending nudes with one that age gap and two under 18 at all, I would just be very careful. To not even go as far as asking for them or sending them. And if you do get sent them unsolicited, I would mention it to an adult because you don't want to be the person that's caught out.
Exactly. That, and also to someone who is in what they feel might be a relationship or some like romantic kind of or sexual connection with someone who's over 18 and significantly older than them. that's something to be very cautious of. That could be a form of grooming. If someone who is a lot older is asking for nudes or is asking for sexual favors, that is a form of sexual assault. And if you're in that situation, you should perhaps try to speak to an adult and see if someone can help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult, I suppose, to speak to an adult, especially when the adult's like your parents.
Yeah.
To go to their parents and say, look, I want to sleep with somebody who's twice my age. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, go to a teacher you trust if you want to do it that way. Go to a lot of schools these days actually have school psychologists.
Yes.
And they deal with things very, one, discreetly, but two, also they try and deal with it in a way that's not going to cause like problems for you, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
They do
Yeah.
you have to tell your parents because you're under 18, but they do it in a very, very respectable way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go to those kinds of people. Also, I know this is going to sound horrible, but if you're under 18 and there is somebody who's over 18 telling you that they like you because you're mature for your age, you're not mature for your age. They're telling you that because they know that's what you want to hear. Everybody wants to be older than they are. So,
And they're trying to groom you, so just be careful. Yeah. But moral of the story, and we'll obviously have a different podcast for sexual assault, which we'll probably, I think we're speaking about in the 3rd week of September. Moral of the story is, if you're sending nudes, be careful and ensure that no identifiable factors are in the photos. If you're under 18 or if you're sending photos to someone who's under 18, do not do that. It's illegal. It's most likely immoral as well, and it's a form of grooming, which is not okay. If you're under 18 in any form of way, do not take nudes or send them. And yeah, guys, just be careful, be very conscious, be very aware, and just be aware of the consequences that are attached to every decision.
and
And be safe.
if there is like a time where you've been called out in terms of, like, obviously, you know, we've gone through this whole podcast. People now know they put their face in it. Someone's still going to do that. So if you are in a situation where your nudes are being leaked, speak to somebody. I know that sounds really hard. It's the last thing you want to do, but trust me, just speak to somebody, speak to an adult, try and get the cops involved. There's actually a lot they can do, a lot more than what you
There
think.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And know your rights, know your legal rights, because at the end of the day, if someone is sharing your nudes, it's actually illegal and there's a serious, serious penalty for that. So just remember that at the end of the day, the law is on your side for this, unless you're doing something extremely illegal. So yeah, I hope this was helpful and educational. I don't think a lot of people really know a lot about nudes, and I think they just assume that, like, you know, they can just trust someone by sending it. But often it's not just that person, it's also other people with access to the internet.
I think a lot of people know that they're dangerous. They just don't care.
Don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, like, you know, like if you want to send nudes, do it, but just keep identifying factors out. And I think a lot of times that's the part that's not mentioned.
Exactly.
Don't send nudes, and you probably better off not to, but people still do it. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why there's that issue. And also ensure just before you send nudes, you have consent. So yeah, guys, we hope that you enjoyed that. If there's anything that we didn't mention or didn't speak about, or if there's more information you'd like to know, obviously there's so much we can speak about, but obviously such little time. So if there's anything more you'd like to know, let us know. And I'm sure we can make another podcast or a post about it. So yeah, thank you guys.
Guys.
Be safe. Be careful with the nudes you send. Be smart. It's the moral of the story.